Joining me now is Democratic Senator Chris Coons of Delaware. He is on the Judiciary Committee. Senator Coons, thank you so much for being with us. Mitt Romney and Lisa Murkowski, two more Republicans joining the Democrats to vote to confirm, or will vote to confirm, Judge Brown Jackson. Now, what's your reaction to that?
Well, John, great to be on with you again. I think the American people, as this week unfolds, as the hearings unfolded last week, have come to realize that not only is Judge Jackson an historic pick, she is an exceptionally qualified pick. She's someone who showed her judicial temperament during aggressive, at times I think harassing questioning last week. And those who've taken the time to read into her record, to understand what she will bring to the court, recognize that her long career as a lawyer, as a judge, the 570 opinions she's written, and the balanced and measured way in which she handled herself through the confirmation process demonstrates that she will be a great contributor as a Supreme Court justice, and I very much look forward to her confirmation later this week.
I have to ask, if the standard is judicial qualifications and experience on the bench, you did not vote to confirm Justice Gorsuch, for instance.
That's right. That's right. In the case of Justice Gorsuch, as you may remember, John, my questioning really focused in on two landmark decisions that he wrote and ways in which I thought his judicial philosophy, his approach to decision-making, his ideas on church-state, on the status of corporations, was well outside the mainstream. There are some colleagues of mine on the committee who dug into her record, who pressed her on questions, and wanted to get to know her judicial methodology. There's others who, frankly, I thought were just grandstanding for the TV cameras. My hope is that we can get back to confirmation hearings like the confirmation for Justice Gorsuch, where we are principally focused on the judicial philosophy, the experience, the character, the insights of the person in front of us. I did reject Justice Gorsuch because of his judicial writings and his philosophy, and I think some of his decisions since then have demonstrated my concerns.
But so you do think Republicans opposing Judge Brown Jackson on those grounds, that's a legitimate concern?
Look, over the last decade, what we are looking at, considering in judicial confirmations, has moved from merely advice and consent based on judicial experience and qualifications into, for the Supreme Court, judicial philosophy, where we think they will take the country, the court, and our understanding of the Constitution. And while I think it's regrettable that we've moved into more and more politicized confirmations, I think it's appropriate that we look hard at what kind of an approach to judging a nominee will bring to the court.
Senator Coons, there's an agreement to pass this COVID relief bill, a lot of money here. And I know you're going to vote in support of it, but you're very disappointed as well. Why?
John, I'm very upset that we are failing to provide critically needed funding for vaccinations and therapeutics. There's three quick reasons. First, there's 2.8 billion people out in the world who haven't yet benefited from a vaccine against this pandemic. And I know we are all tired. We are all ready to be done with this pandemic, but it's not ready to be done with us. And the best way to protect the American people from the emergence of the next variant is to make sure that the vaccines that we now have available in abundant supply are provided to the developing world, where I will remind you the last two variants, Delta and Omicron, emerged from. It's also a great chance for us to show dozens of countries around the world that relied on Chinese and Russian vaccines that are not working, that we can be a better public health partner. And frankly, last, John, it's a long tradition of the American people that when we can save lives in the developing world at low cost to us, we do. So while I will support this package that's urgently needed for the American people to have therapeutics and vaccines, I really think this was a hugely missed opportunity, and we will have to come back and spend even more if there is another variant that emerges. Frankly, public health officials, John, are saying to me, it's not if, but when.
Senator Chris Coons, I appreciate you being with us this morning. Thanks very much.
Thank you, John.